All right, let's dive back into the chronicles of the Misfortunate Bastards. They've just managed to cleanse that deep darkness beneath Cauldron. But, with this crew, you just know that peace is never going to last long.
So, for the first time in what feels like forever, after months of just nonstop chaos, the bastards actually get a rare moment of calm. They're in their newly renovated safehouse, deep, deep down beneath Cauldron's old bathhouse. And thanks to the Guild, this place is not just some damp cavern anymore. No, these underground chambers are finally a proper home, a fortified sanctuary where they can rest, recover, and just try to process the endless string of battles they've had to endure. And in this quiet, you see each member find their own kind of peace. You've got Garth with his steel, August meticulously checking his arrows, Rothan lost in his arcane thoughts, and Toril getting his blades to a perfect shine. It's a short, well-earned moment of calm. But, let's be honest, for the bastards, peace is always fleeting. And just like that, their quiet is completely shattered, pulling them right back into the fire. So this letter arrives, right? It's got the official seal of the city guard, and the whole atmosphere just shifts. That warmth in the safe house, it's gone, replaced by that familiar cold tension. They know this can't be good. Well, it's blunt, it's cold, and it brings back some pretty sharp memories of a fight they really thought was over, a threat they believed they'd already dealt with back at the bathhouse.
So let's be crystal clear here. This isn't some brand new threat popping up out of nowhere. No, this is a loose end. The one wererat that managed to get away and slip into the darkness. And now, it seems that single survivor has, well, festered into a whole clan.
After a long 7-day ride, they finally get to Brindinford, and they're expecting to find a town just cowering in fear. But what they actually find is something way, way more chaotic. The entire town is completely swallowed up by this massive festival. It's just a sea of bodies, a total cacophony of music and noise that makes just walking down the street almost impossible. Every single inn, every loft, even the stables are overflowing with people. But here's the thing that's really interesting. There's this tension just simmering right below the surface. For all the celebrating, the guards are wound incredibly tight, enforcing these super strict rules. It feels like a party, sure, but a party being held on a knife's edge. And in a single instant, that fragile peace, that forced party atmosphere, it just shatters into a million pieces. The noise of the festival is drowned out by the one sound everybody recognizes: pure terror. The nightmare begins. That hidden threat finally reveals itself in the most brutal way you can imagine. They're erupting from the shadows, turning what was a joyous celebration into a scene of absolute horror. The bastards, of course, they don't even hesitate. Steel is drawn, and they leap right into the chaos. Their mission just went from investigation to desperate, frantic crowd control. And right away, you see that combat synergy they have. Garth is just this wall of steel. August's arrows are finding their marks through the panic. Rothan's magic is ripping through the enemy lines, and Toril is just a blur of deadly motion. But one member sees all this chaos and has a very, very different idea. Right in the middle of all this carnage, Indy, our ever-creative halfling, spots something so ridiculous it just might work. She dives headfirst into a nearby barrel and, with a running start, starts rolling directly toward the attackers. And with that, she initiates what is going to become one of the most infamous, most legendary maneuvers in the entire history of the Misfortunate Bastards. Now, the initial crash, it's not exactly graceful, but Indy is not about to be defeated. Peering through the slats, she waits for the perfect moment. And just like that, a spectacular failure becomes a stunning success. The wererat literally never saw it coming. And that turns the tide. The shock of the bastards' coordinated attack, plus the sheer absurdity of the barrel, is just too much. The remaining wererats break and flee back into the darkness. So the immediate threat is over, but you just know the real fight is only getting started. As the chaos finally dies down and the screams fade away, the aftermath of this whole attack raises way more questions than it answers. The reaction from the local guard is, well, it's suspicious, to say the least. They show up late, they seem completely uninterested in what just happened, and they're way more concerned with just cleaning up and erasing any sign of the attack than with finding out why it happened in the first place. Something is very, very wrong here. With the official channels clearly useless, Garth turns to the streets. A couple rounds of beer for some local punks, and suddenly a whole web of disturbing rumors starts to unravel, pointing to multiple trouble spots all across town.
And this is where the mission takes a really strange turn. What started as a hunt for a wererat clan has now somehow devolved into honoring a drunken promise Garth made to those punks, an egging spree, in the one district that happens to be plagued by mysterious midnight whales.
And with that ominous promise, the first part of their shadow war in Brindinford comes to a close. They're about to walk into a wealthy neighborhood armed with nothing but eggs, completely unaware of the true horror that's waiting for them.